Hello and welcome to Point of View. As you can see, today I'm driving the brand new Peugeot 3008. Peugeots used to be cheap runabouts for people who didn't care, they didn't want anything special, they just wanted a car that works. But things have changed. And yeah, this new 3008, it's something different. One of the biggest changes is the design, inside and out. On the outside, you get brand new LEDs, front and back. There are some really bold design lines, and I think they work really well with the appearance. This one is riding on 19-inch, but I think 18 is the way to go. Whichever angle you look, this car doesn't look bad. It's sort of understated and yet very modern. There are many colors and design lines to choose from. This particular version is the GT line, which means it has some sporty bits, but the Allure and the cheaper versions are just as good. And basically whatever you do, don't get one without the LED headlights. They just set the car apart, and yeah, just get them. Now we come to the interior, and what an interior this is. I mean, everything is changed. You have this big digital display up front, standard on all models, by the way. A big 8-inch, I think it's 8, maybe 9. Anyway, it's a big screen, touchscreen of course. It's not that easy to use out of the box, but if you do get used to the functions, you can navigate through it very easily. And also the interior has sort of a LED nighttime ambient light thing going on, which means it is a joy to drive in the nighttime. They have lined some materials with sort of textile, and it really works. I mean, why doesn't anybody else do this? Because underneath it is plastic, no doubt about that, but adding this sort of cloth, it doesn't need to be leather or Alcantara. It just looks different when it's covered up in something special, you know? I have to mention all the switches, because I love the way they have designed this middle part here. It's sort of aircraft-like. If you push them, it's not like you're pushing a cheap button from the 90s. It's good and it's well balanced. And the materials all around, I really can't complain. The GT line gets black headlining, which makes it sportier. The plastics basically are soft touch. There's nothing really that's jumping out, and yeah, I might even say it's better than a Volkswagen Tiguan on the inside, and that's saying a lot because the Volkswagen Tiguan is much more expensive. Even those metal bits, you know, you look at them and you think, yeah, these have to be cheap, right? No, they are very solid and nothing squeaks or rattles if you touch them. I am actually really surprised. At this price point, this interior is just spot on. I also have to mention the seats. This GT line gets some sportier seats, but even on the standard versions, they are not bad. And if you get the GT line, you get half leather, half cloth. I think it's the way to go. You don't need full leather. It's not a BMW, you know. Yeah, it's not the fastest car in the world, but it does have lots of options. I wouldn't spec the 3008 up so much, because this has the panoramic sunroof, navigation, electric seats, LED headlights, all the safety features, lane assist, blind spot assist, adaptive cruise control, etc. But you do get most of the things as standard if you get one of the higher version models, Allure Plus or the GT line versions. With those versions, as I said, half leather is standard, keyless entry is standard. If you get the GT line, LED headlights are standard. So there's nothing you have to add as options, because most of it is as standard. I mean, heated seats, cruise control, everything you need is as standard, but you might want to add the safety features. They are basically one package, not that expensive, and it's a lot safer to have those things. And if you're gonna buy it or lease it for, let's say, 5 years, I can guarantee to, in 5 years time, most of the cars will have adaptive cruise control as standard, because it is so easy to fit them this day and age. But the main thing is that the digital display is standard on all models. more expensive cars should really learn from this car. I mean Audi Q5, for example, it doesn't have the active info display as standard. It doesn't even have cruise control. Why? And comparing the prices, this particular version, fully spec, is around 32,000 euros. Base price on this 1.6 diesel automatic is, I think it was 29,000 euros. I think I would add some options and maybe even get the Allure Plus, which is 25,000 euros, give or take. So yeah, it's basically down to your choices, but just don't go above 30,000 euros, because that is the mark where I think I couldn't say that, yeah, I bought a 30,000 euro Peugeot. That just does not sound right, does it? So yeah, don't get the navigation and electric seats, and maybe skip the panoramic sunroof, because that is an expensive option. Even the sound system, this is not the premium version, this is the standard one, and I'm very positively surprised because the highs and lows are really crisp. The bass is sort of there, but all in all it is good. It is good. Now let's take a look. Oh, one thing I do have to mention that I do not like. You have to push and hold the start button. It's not like you push it and it stops. See, nothing happens. Nothing happens. You hold it and then it shuts down. And it's the same when you want to start the car up. It is a bit annoying. Sitting at the back. This is my driving position. One thing I notice immediately is that the seating is angled, sort of upright. It's not as comfortable as some other rivals, but comparing, for example, to the Toyota CHR, you do have nice windows. It isn't cut away like in the Toyota. Materials are good in the back just as well. I really like the design of the seats. It's sporty and yet sort of tasteful. You have this handrest here with some cup holders, a ski hatch also. See? Now let's take a look at the boot, which is electric and can be operated. I don't know, it's not working. See? The system is, yeah, it's not that good actually. It's just easier to use the button. My crap is all over the boot right now, but there is plenty of space and nothing to complain about. To close it, just push the button. It is quite fast. Works like a charm. Back in the front seat. This car does have keyless entry. 2 front doors have sensors and the back boot, but 2 rear doors don't, so that might be a consideration. Put it into reverse. As you can see, this car also has the 360 cameras and the backup camera. I do like the backup camera, but the 360 is sort of a gimmick. And now we come neatly to the driving part. As you can see, that was a slippery hill, but no problem. Although all of the versions have front wheel drive, no all-wheel drive is available. But most of you will use this car in the city or some light off-roading, and for that the front wheel drive is perfectly fine. As for other driving capabilities, it's not sporty. You can't say this word about the 3008, but it is very comfortable. Immediately when I sat in the car, I noticed that the wind noise is quite bad. Surprisingly, tire roar is almost okay, but the wind noise is the one factor that really annoys me. As I said, this car isn't fast. It's the 1.6 diesel with the 6-speed automatic. It's perfectly fine in the city, but it is the slowest of the bunch. 0 to 100 kilometers an hour takes 11.9 seconds. If it were my choice, I would go with either the 1.2 petrol or the 1.6 petrol. I can't say anything bad about the diesel here, because it is fairly rattle-free, and even if you floor it, the sound isn't bad, and 300 Newton meters of torque really helps. So yeah, if you want the diesel, it is very frugal. Now the gearbox itself, It's not fast. Let's be clear, it's not fast. But it doesn't have to be. It needs to be comfortable and smooth. And for that, it does its job perfectly. Now you do have to compare this car to the rivals. Toyota CHR, Seat Ateca, the new baby Honda FRV. It is a really good contender, and the fact that this car has won the European Car of the Year 2017 award, yeah, that basically says a lot, doesn't it? So, what do I think about the Peugeot 3008? I love the interior, the design is gorgeous. Get the LED headlights, please, please, please do get them. And don't spec the car up more than 30,000 euros. You just do not want to justify why you bought the 32,000 euro Peugeot. It drives well. My choice would be the petrol, but the diesel is not bad. Anyway guys, this was my short review of the Peugeot 3008. Thank you for watching. There will be new videos coming soon. And yeah, see you again guys. Bye.